Hello, hello fam, welcome back to my channel. This is the channel where freedom is just bliss, isn't it? Man, it feels like it's been a long time since I've done a Tell Me Rindo about the Hyakuno heroines, and so here it is, right? Tell me Rindo about Miss Naddy, the cowgirl of freedom in the Rentero family. Now, it was a regular day in school, right? The class Rentaro and his girlfriends are expecting this new teacher who's gonna be teaching the subject of Japanese to to enter, right? They're expecting a new teacher, and the family had a lot of expectations, right? Throw in a lot of theories that they have about this new teacher, what they'd expect of her, piling in, right? And considering that this new character, right? A new character being added to this manga, to the Hyakuno manga, is, well, this is a new character being added to this manga. And with that being said, you're gonna expect a something that's quite interesting. And boy oh boy, this is indeed a very, very delightful addition to the series. And she's the new teacher coming in, guns blazing, fireworks launching, eagles making that eagle sound, that something, and then you have the truck horns like sorry. Okay, but yeah, that being said, the family is now introduced to Miss Naddy, the Japanese teacher who's wearing a cowgirl outfit. Off the bat, it's clear that she's really gonna be a fun character to have, and indeed she has been. She comes off as really spreading her ideals of freedom. Like it's as part of her whole dynamic or learning style, character style. Radiating this energy of freedomness. And boy, yes, she's as free as she can be. And I like it. She has really this fun personality that pops, like all of the characters in the Hyakuno family, right? And yeah, probably it also has something to do with the American-ish articulation or vocabulary in her words or something along those lines. And you'd really get that vibe of a person who's just, the party can't start without her. That's what I'm getting from Naddy. But yeah, overall, just an enjoyable gal. And how she was hired to teaching this school, well, Hahari as the new chairwoman, if she's a cutie, if there's a cutie, there's a way. I don't even know if she has a license to teach. They didn't really make it clear on that part, which I'm really concerned about. But hey, potato, we still get a new character to this fantastic manga. Now let's see what's her whole deal about. We get to the part right where she zings between her and Rentaro, and boy, things started to transition fast. So what happened was that she asked Rentaro to stay after class for some supplementary lessons. Wink, wink. I'm kidding. Get your mind off the gutter. The gutter. It's not that. It's not that. Right? Hear me out. Right? So, Rentaro, Nadie, alone in the classroom. She's sitting next to him. Next to him, as in sitting in the same chair, reviewing, studying. Yes, so that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, right? They're just talking, right? And then Nadie lands one on him. A kiss. I mean, a kiss. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, it's not. It's not that. A kiss, right? And yeah, that's where she confesses to him essentially. And was she worried about the whole teacher-student ethical dilemma? Nope, because she doesn't give a hoot, and people should be free to live how they want, quote unquote. That's something that I got from the translations, but there it is. But yeah, freedom to love anyone she wants, freedom to live the life that she wants, the way her life wants to be lived as. Freedom, don't give a hoot, right? And yes, apparently that confession really confirmed to Rentaro that she is indeed a pure Japanese person. Well, Yes, her true name is Nadeshiko Yamato, and she is also the eldest daughter of the Yamato household, right? And her English isn't really that good, apparently, to qualify her in teaching English. Japanese, yes. And, we get to see her backstory then, and I mentioned this when I made my video about the emotional moments in the Hyakano series. If you're interested in watching that, I'll leave a link in the description below. So if you're interested, yeah, check it out, please. But yeah, this Naddy's backstory was something that really hit me in so many ways. The Yamato family is this, I don't know exactly, right? But I assume, or from the context given, it's this sort of prestige or distinguished family, right? Or really a family that's really like bound with, or that really follows, the tradition and the like. One that, it's really like centered around, Japanese tradition, you know I suppose, right? Point is that really, it's really sort of, yeah, distinguished, pure, right? And belonging to such a family, you'd have all these high expectations, responsibilities given to you. And for Nadie, it's at such a young age, fam, man. She practiced a lot of various traditional Japanese art forms, and she's pretty fluent in them. That of which she would, later appear, or later in the chapters, or further in future chapters, right, or chapters that follow after, you would see her like um, do these art forms, right? And she is really good at that. Now, because the Yamato household has been imposing these different practices, I suppose, or things to Nadi, like getting her to wear a kimono despite her not liking it, doing this because the family says so. She has to take all these lessons every day even though she doesn't want to, and her entire state at that time was just really saddening, really. When Nadie grows, with the Nadie, to the Nadie that we see in the manga currently, right? At her current state, when she does engage in these art forms, the traditional art forms of Japanese practices, right? Then yeah, you would see that she is really, fluent at them, and she's like sort of has this, nice compatibility. What's the term? Like the nice linkage, right? To that. She had all those practices drilled into her. There we go. So yeah, it's become a big part of her childhood growing up, and as of today, or as of the moment of Nadie's character within the story, she does still harbor those practices within her, right? But aside from that, that in itself is kind of good. Take it however you want. To Nadie, we're not really so sure yet. I'm not really so sure yet if she really does accept and love the practices drilled into her. I know that she doesn't really like the fact that she was, being really disciplined, strictly, harshly disciplined from it, or really growing up at a strict household. Yes, I do understand that. And because of that, yeah, her face, the expressionless deadpan look on her eyes, it really hurts. And that one chapter, this one of the chapters, right, and later on, where the family members got turned into a baby again, there's a second part of that. We see baby Nadie also having that sad look on her face. It was then so that Nadie happened to find a VHS tape, right? Then that single tape changed her life, It was playing, or when she played it, she plugged into the box, uh, um, the box, right? I'm so sorry, I forgot the name of it. But it was playing some sort of movie where the setting was that of an American family. And I don't know how it happened to end up in that household, but thank God it did. Because it sure made quite the impact to Nadie. Seeing the American kids in the film, right, doing all sorts of quote unquote rule breaking, or at least to her perspective, you know, yeah, in a way, I guess, and yeah, to her perspective, it really trails to how it can be described as quote unquote free, or she sees them as, these children are free to do whatever they want, which, yes, in that context does, right? And Naddy's eyes just sparkled like never before. Cut to a few years later, yeah, I guess because she's really grown up now. Um, she comes home all geared up, dressed in an American outfit. Actually, I don't know specifically. Actually, she just dyed her hair blonde and she's wearing an "I Love America" T-shirt. And yeah, that's sort of like a sign. That's a sign of change, right? Yes. And because of that, the family kicked her out. And in response to that, she gave a big old you to them. Antaro, being the child we all know, he fell in love with Naddy's nature and being dedicated to the things that she loves to do, being her ideal self and just expressing it to the world with no intention of hiding it. I like that, I like that. Of course, you have to know our limitations and the like, but still, being able to say that you're proud of who you are, you're proud of doing this and that, I think that's a nice thing that people, should do. Or like, I don't know, it's up to you really. But living up to your family name, right? Living up to the expectation that you have around your family, putting into work all of these practices that your family wanted you to learn so that you would have a good future ahead of you. Basically preparing you for the future, right? Or shaping you to become someone who is worthy, quote unquote, worthy of the family name or something like that, right? But yeah, that's what you observe in Naddy's case in one way or another. People have different beliefs and such. They follow different traditions, especially for between different family households, right? They raise their children differently, and they have all sorts of different, I don't know, ways as to how they would want them to end up. I don't know. I don't have much say on that topic really. But what I can say is that yeah, I believe that as people we do have our own lives to live, and yes, although it is good to have to have people who expect a lot from us, or at least you know people who we have a goal to set in mind with and live up to their expectations of said people, family. And the family, just wants the best for you. You have all these sorts of opportunities laid down before you in order for you to get to reach your goal, right? And whether it be that goal that has been inspired by your family, or you really wanted to pursue it for your own good, or for your own self, or your family is like, take this because it's what we want. It's better for you this way, right? Continue the family tradition or something like that. A lot of different factors really, and different motives and end goals that we would want us as children would want to reach as well. But we also question, right? Where do we truly want to go in life? Take it as good intention again, but of course, unless if it's not, then it's not, right? It's not as in like um in Naddy's case, when she faces this harsh discipline because she doesn't do a certain practice well, the strictness of that, it really takes a toll on her. She's just a child. And with that environment growing up in, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that Naddy wanted to, was really frustrated and she really wanted to let loose and be free. With that state in mind, like, you'd want to really divert from the path, or you really wanted to find some sort of feeling, some sort of activity in which you don't want to, you want to do, but it's not because of the influence of your family, but it's because you wanted to do it because you love it. And with the family's intention of, being too harsh and all that to Naddy, then yeah, I don't think that's a good intention at all. That's just really strict, and towards Nadie as a child, it's really affecting a lot. It's painful. She took her first step in living the life she wanted to by greeting that you out there to her family's doorstep. And the point where I'm going with this is that if you want something if you want something to do in life, then just go for it. Especially if you are passionate about it or you really love it, then do it. Or not, but at the end of the day, really, it's your life, it's your choice. But keep in mind as well about the people around you, right? As humans, we have our limitations and the things that we can do with our body and with with our actions in our lives, right? Family, friends, the community, just be mindful of that, I remember watching a clip from one of the scenes in the movie Whiplash, right? Amazing movie. And one of it was along the lines of there's a conversation between the protagonist and the antagonistic character, right? And what I found really interesting, or really I love about the conversation, but also terrified really, is something is a statement that is not really the exact right, but I'm gonna paraphrase it. The next big celebrity or idol will not be discouraged even if all the hardships or harshness is thrown at them, no matter how painful it is, they won't be discouraged if, in order for them to really surpass their limits and, polish. Basically, like, pressure makes diamonds. Is that the term? Yes, in a way, I suppose, right? But we should also know that people are different. They can feel however they want and be free to do what they please. They're free to feel what they feel. It's good to let that out, and it's good to let others know about what you're feeling. Don't bottle it up. It only hurt. It would only hurt you more, really. And it's only the matter of people's very determination to do that act, right? To do that act, to take that step, the very first step that makes the gears and the wheels turn in their lives. And I guess in a dilemma where, I had to choose between two options, one where the most favorable meets a good number of expectations from my family, and the other that would be out of my own passion and just own love and interest about certain, choice, then, you know, making these decisions is not easy. It's really, there's a lot of things to consider and a lot of factors to take in. The risks that are involved. It's just agonizing to think about the unforeseeable future and that anxiety that piles up. It's terrifying. I found myself in this dilemma, right? This very dilemma, um, quite a lot of times, especially in important events that happen in my life. And I tell you that, yeah, it's not that easy to really come up with a answer that fast. In the volume cover, we'd seen Chio and Naddy, order and freedom, two different ideals that, contrast each other. And it's really just such a beautiful scene, really, when you'd see Naddy and Chio hang out together. And that one chapter where Chio and Naddy, hanged out and they had that whole chapter, right, storyline. It's just chef's kiss, really. I love it. Nadie, a wonderful addition to the family. She's really that sort of person who's like that one teacher, right? The one teacher who would hang out with the students after class and just being part of the friend group. I always love interactions and sort of relationships like those, It's comforting, it's nice, and you get to have fun with everyone. She blends well with the members of the family, both students of hers and of older age, right? If you're also wondering how her English isn't that good as well, despite being, an American lover, well, in the days of her youth, right, she would secretly practice English drills, Japanese test scores. Perfect, but we don't want that. We want some English up in here. And so, well, she did her best. She didn't really, not that strong in that arena, but, you know, she tried. She tried. It's adorable to see that. But yeah, it's still fun to see her act the way that she is. Being this, you know, this person who's supposed to be an adult, right? But she would say a lot of things that isn't, like, that makes a question: is that something an adult is supposed to say? I love it. I love it. And yeah, Nadie just being and staying as her American loving self is just, it brings a it brings joy to my life and to this manga as well. It really brightens it up. And you'd love to see people when their smile is at their brightest, because that's when they shine brightly, you know. But yeah, in conclusion, really blaze your own trails, fam. You hear?